And good morning, BizDev Morning Brew, bonus Friday. It is finally the end of the week. It is a short week, so maybe those 4 days didn't really feel like a full week, but I'm sure all of us have felt the pressure of the week on us. And we've gotten through it. We're in our Friday and we're making things happen. And we are continuing to move forward. Regardless of the struggle, we are continuing to move forward because we are masters of the struggle. I had a fantastic conversation this morning where we were talking about in my sales mastery group. We were talking about the fact that we are agreeing with the reality of struggle, yet we are masters of that struggle. And we put that in our visions, and we consistently tell that in our intrapersonal conversation as we build our momentum and understand our outcomes. We are the masters of the outcome. And I'm subjected to these more than anybody else. I consistently fall into the idea of making sure my rational brain allows the realities around us to be accepted and not accept or sit in any delusion. Um, there are struggles. There are things that we are going to come by. I personally, with this podcast, was not able to upload yesterday's episode because of technical difficulties. It was not able to get up and then get it uploaded, and now it's gone. So I have to just accept the fact that that episode is gone, and the information that I really wanted to share yesterday needs to progress into this current moment. And right now, I am going to dive back into it and take the opportunity that I was not able to upload yesterday and share some deeper thoughts and information based on the things that I learned today. So first thing this morning, very early, because of the time differences, East Coast, West Coast, and Central Time, and all that. I am in Arizona time, which is the same as Pacific time. So on the East Coast, that's a 3 hour time difference. So anything that happens early in the morning is much earlier for me. And I made sure to attack the day based on the things that I felt I missed yesterday. And we don't want to live in the past. However, I wrote down a few objectives that I felt that I didn't, the targets that I didn't reach my full capability. I wrote those down last night, and when I woke up this morning, I had them keenly aware. I was keenly aware of them, and they were on my mind. And then I wrote down additions next to those tasks, and felt I needed to address. And as I had my early morning meetings, they actually came up in the conversation in the form of solutions with the people that I was talking to. And I thought that that was an amazing concept because I yesterday's call was about writing things down. I mentioned reading as probably one of the most fundamental, fun and mental things for us to do when we're learning and in that transformation phase. And in accompanying that, writing is the next equivalent. And there is a reason why reading and writing is the thing that we start with in the very beginning of our education, and how reading and writing is a continuation into all of our levels of education. Writing, however, along with reading, I believe a lot of people are losing the concept of reading. They would rather have things either said to them or look things through pictures, or they would read maybe just headlines and allow themselves to be able to move forward through the emotions based on a few words, rather than actually reading out a longer piece that you can discern information from. So I want to dive into this. This is a fantastic article. It's a blog from TCK Publishing, and I'll leave the link below. TCK Publishing, I think it was written in like early teens, like 2013, 2014. And it discussed 8 benefits of writing things down. And yeah, a study was done in 2014. So this was probably written in 2015 or so. Maybe later, actually. But this study was done in 2014. So 8 benefits of writing things down. So we explore the powerful benefits of writing, improving your understanding. So when you write something down, you identify exactly with what you are comprehending that was sent to you, and you're writing it down, adding a little bit more understanding to what that is that you wrote down. It's like in 3 different experiments, researchers found that students who use laptops are able to note down more words, but they process information more shallowly. Meanwhile, students who took notes freehand wrote fewer words, but processed the information more thoroughly and effectively. I thought this was probably one of the most truest statements that just was exposed in the last few days, when I had noted this. I talked about this in the call that I didn't get a chance to upload, and I just referenced the headlines. I just talked about the fact that it improves your understanding, and then also strengthens your memory. And then I started to dive in more deeply into the actual definitions, and these definitions were expressed to me by the other people that I was talking to earlier this morning, which really proves, when you're looking into the idea of how things are becoming, when you are looking for the outcomes and you are seeing the outcomes play out in front of you, all of us have experienced this. When you are aware of it, you see the individuals you are talking with expressing the solutions to you in the manner in which that you prepared for them prior to the engagement. And these engagements could be with people that you didn't plan to actually meet. So this is why you need to stay aware of your communication and your conversations, because there are gems lining the path of your journey. And that's also why the journey is the most important part of your goal. You can miss some signs and you can miss some gems that will add to the value that you are bringing to your outcome. And when you cross the paths of someone who may have interrupted your meeting, or may have even stopped you on your way down the hall, that conversation could actually add to the value, because that's exactly what happened to me and consistently happens to me on a regular basis when I'm preparing my outcomes. I did not expect that on that call I was going to receive so many gems in the solutions that I was looking for, in the fact that I wanted to express this whole concept to you of writing things down. Now I am wanting to go through in a deeper detail, where we're talking more about things, strengthening your memory with the external storage, simply storing information. It's accessible and can be viewed at any time. It's easier to remember things when it's a visual cue to rely on. So when things are told to you in a meeting, you're hearing them, you can store that information. If you actually sat and wrote it down, or the key points that you are receiving in that verbal communication, you write it down. Now you are visually seeing that written down, and you are able to retain that information a little bit more. We talked about retention in the last call, of the call prior. And encoding in the biological process in which your brain analyzes information and arranges it into easily understandable parts. You tend to skip this part when typing notes, as your brain doesn't engage much with the information, because you're tick. You may visually see the words. However, if you wrote the words, that mechanism that you learned how to actually put words down onto paper really activates the mind more than learning to type things out on the keyboard. Processing emotion, this is a huge part. Your thoughts influence your emotion, and your emotion influence your thoughts. So if you are able to process your emotions through writing things down and you develop an understanding of what those emotions mean, this is another reason why it's important for you to go through soft skills training to really understand what your emotions mean. It's not for you just to be, I don't want to be angry, I'm going to be happy all day. I want to be happy all day. Understand that the reason why you actually became angry could be something you need to address in a habit or something that you need to be aware of in the communication that prepares you for the next outcome. The reasons why we have emotions have a lot more to do with how our body functions and how our interactions with the rest of the world functions than just being able to turn things on and off. Reducing stress. Here's the big one. Every time I have read anything having to do with the benefits of reading or writing, this is one of the big ones that pops up. The top, you get a top list of top 10, top 15, top 20 reasons why you should. Well, it's always in the top 4 or 5, reducing stress. Now, here's the kicker. Reducing stress when you read is a very interesting concept because it lowers your blood pressure, your heart rate, for a number of different reasons. While you are reading and calming your mind and activating your imagination, you tend to relax your shoulders and your muscles and your joints. At the same time, when you look at it in this concept where you say, think of your mind as a computer and how thoughts are programs. The more programs you have open, and which I look at my computer and I see a lot of tabs open, the slower your mind runs effectively and efficiently. And when you're introducing information by reading, you're adding more programs to your brain, and your brain is running with the active imagination. So it would behoove you to write after you read. So if you read a chapter a day, you should write a page after that or a paragraph of what you felt that you got out of that paragraph. And that coupled together will not only reduce more stress, right? You'll also have more cognitive ability based on understanding the comprehension level of understanding what you read. Oh, that's pretty amazing to me. And the morning pages, this is the thing, these morning pages essentially do a brain dump. Some experts recommend starting your day sitting down and writing down anything that comes to your mind. And writing this is more like a brain dump. And this is what I did this morning. And I do every morning and every night. So every night I write down the key things that I got out of the day. And in the morning, I look at what I wrote down and then I add little extras to whatever I felt I gained through my awakening on the after sleeping. Like you want to say sleep on it, and I sleep on the idea. Moving on and improving your focus and clarify your goals and priorities. So when you are focused more and you have a better idea of what you're focusing on, and I will always quote Rod Harrison on this, what you focus on, you find. What you focus on grows. What you focus on seems real. And what you focus on, you become. This is the reason why when you buy a new car, you see that same car. Or if you are, because you focused on getting that car. If you are focused on the color of a certain outfit, you tend to see that color everywhere you go. Because as a part of the process, what you focus on, you will find. And what you focus on consistently will grow. And as you consistently continue that focus, that thing you're focusing on will seem real. And then the continued consistency of focus, you will become that what you are focused on. Now, becoming, of course, if you're focusing on a certain drink, you're not going to become that drink, but that drink will obviously be brought into your reality. So clarifying your goals and priorities through this idea of focus is key when writing things down. Also, of course, you create a physical copy of your thoughts and process, your thought process. So many of us don't actually grasp on or want to grasp on to the idea that you have the conscious mind and the unconscious mind, and that's fine. It doesn't need you to understand its existence. It will operate on its own. When you do grasp an understanding of how your mind works and how your specific mind, your specific mind works, you find this beautiful play that is going on around you through your thoughts. And I liken it to this. So I had a meal my wife and I cooked, or my wife cooked, and I ate that was sitting on the stove. And we wanted to go to the grocery store. So I didn't want to leave the food on the stove, but it was all covered up and it was all cooked and it was warm. So I put it in the oven while we were out. And I said to myself, as I was putting it in the oven, that if I do this, most likely I'm going to wind up turning on the oven and this stuff's going to be in there. Watch. It's like that mind thing. You have something that you do and you have that one voice in your head that kind of goes, ha ha, you're going to mess it up. That voice was the one saying, you're going to turn the oven on with this stuff in the oven. Just watch. And I ignored it. And I said, of course not. I'll pull it out as soon as we come home. We're going to be gone not that long. I just want to put this in the oven so it's not sitting on the stove. And then wipe the stove down. Sure enough, as soon as I came home and we got all the groceries put away and I started to prepare what I wanted for dinner and what we were going to have for dinner, and I turned the oven on immediately, and it clicked. As soon as I heard the oven beep to the temperature in which I put it on, I remembered I put this stuff in there. And that is one of those, I consider one of those beautiful moments that you understand how your brain, your subconscious, and your conscious mind work in tandem consistently to make you aware of the outcomes. Your conscious mind is not capable of accessing all of the information that your unconscious mind and subconscious mind has. So that communication that we have, if you build that bridge, it's a beautiful relationship that gives you that ability to foresee outcomes. So understanding how your thought process works is a great one. The final one is what really one I like the most. You record your journey. Writing things down is a fantastic way of you being able to keep track and understanding your growth. And when you get to a certain point, specifically when you're going through a large process or big project, or you're going through a learning experience, if you go back to the beginning or even go back prior to you even engaging in that process at all, you can see some interesting details about your prior self. And you have a more respect of your capabilities and abilities. And you may even look back on yourself with a little bit of an admiration, because at that point you had the courage to write it down and the courage and vulnerability to leave it on paper, so your future self can look back with a little bit of understanding of who you were and who you are, to understand who you're becoming. That's my in-depth detail about writing. So reading and writing are two different sides of the same coin, is what I'm trying to say. And when put together, can really empower you to engage in the active understanding of creating the outcomes. When you're creating an outcome for yourself and you're understanding that this outcome will be what it will be. This is how these most successful people I've ever spoken to, and all the people that I've read about, and all the experiences I've had with success, has come from the idea of setting the tone of what that goal will be. There is no exception along the path, except the fact that you are going on the path. You will be on the path, you will stay on the path, and you will endure whatever comes at you on that path. And in that, you start to develop the positive energy that lays the foundation of you being extremely successful in whatever you are looking to accomplish. So as we get ready to go into the weekend, I really hope you have a fantastic and relaxing time. I hope you take the moments to read and write and express yourself to yourself on what you want your next week to become. And as we go into Monday mornings and we make Monday mornings make money, and we talk about our transitions into Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then we go into the next week, what is the final outcome of next week going to bring to you? And I know it will be successful. Have a fantastic weekend, and thanks for watching. See you next time. BizDev Morning Brew, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, bonus Friday. See you next time.